Dang, it is bright out here, let me tell you. And warm. It's supposed to get up to almost freezing today. Like 25, I think, was the projected high, but it feels like it's 50, you know, compared to recent weather. But what do you care? I mean, who knows when you're watching this? Probably soon after I released it, but you know, maybe years later, searching for dirt on me. Maybe you are an AI in the service of some corporation or some publication or political action committee, and I have taken a position in public that you don't like, and you are looking for dirt with which to smear me. Well, you have sicked your AI on my huge backlog of daily YouTube videos and said, go find me something with which to crucify this guy. There's plenty here. Let me tell you, there is plenty here, particularly if you are willing to take stuff out of context. Good gosh. I should probably just create a clip video of my own, just a condemnatory, oh, you hate this guy too? Listen to the crazy stuff he said, and just string it all together. Speaking of technology, I have been I'm looking down now because I'm walking over ice and I don't want to fall and, you know, break something. But I really wanted a Surface Pro. I just can't bring myself to spend the money. I mean, I've got it, barely. It would leave me totally tapped out, and I'm not going there. So I narrowed my search, you know, to a different price range, and I was comparing the Galaxy Tab S4, which if you watch videos about it, there's a lot to complain about, but you know, I want it for drawing, and none of the complaints that people are making are about its ability, you know, to serve as a drawing pad. I've also been looking at the Surface Go, which is a you know, a miniature version, a baby Surface Pro, and also just the regular old iPad, which now works with the Apple Pencil, and it's like $300. I have been a dedicated. I posted something to Reddit earlier saying I've never owned an Apple device before, and then after I posted that, I realized, wait a second, my very first computer was an Apple II Plus. My second computer was an Apple II GS. I have definitely owned Apple products, but not in the 21st century. Never owned an iPhone, never owned an iPad, never had a MacBook or any of those very familiar, iconic pieces of tech for creative folk. Which, whoa! I consider myself one. I am not walking down that way any further. This will be a disaster video. Put some funny sound effects with it, and my broken collarbone can make you laugh. No, anyway, I was looking at the Galaxy Tab S4, and yeah, it looks nice, but it will not run Clip Studio Paint, which is what I use to create the comics, and it doesn't have Procreate, which is strictly for the iPad, and so that was out of the running. So then I was looking at the Surface Go versus the iPad, not the Pro, just the regular old iPad, and I decided that the Surface Go would just frustrate me because it would constantly be reminding me that what I wanted was the Surface Pro, and the Surface Go was a low-power miniature version of it, which would be a perpetual tease. So I decided to go with the iPad, largely due to the advice, or based on the advice of a guy whose name is not coming to mind right now, but I will link to his stuff in the description below. Not that he needs my help. He's a much bigger YouTuber than I am, and good on him. You know, he's got consistent output that is relevant to people like me, you know, people who like to draw and use electronics to make art. And he's also got really high production value, so doesn't need my help. But I think it's Brad Colbow. I think that's his name. Anyway, he convinced me to go with the iPad because, one, because of Procreate. I hear nothing but good things about it. I've seen videos that really attract me to it. And two, he said, you know, the iPad would probably be the one for you if you don't really want to spend a lot of time fussing with settings and getting things set up just your way. If you just want it to be plug and play, out of the box, just pick it up and use it, the iPad is what you want. And really, that's what I want. I have, you know, the Adobe Creative Suite. If I knew how to use all of that software, I would never need to buy another piece of software, I don't think. But it's all of it. Each single piece has a very high a steep learning curve. So I want something that I can just use. The skill that I want to put to use is the one of drawing, which I acquired with pencil and paper, pens and paper, Conte crayons and paper. I don't want to really have to spend a lot of time figuring out the software. So I have an iPad coming, not an iPad Pro. Can't afford an iPad Pro, but an iPad on its way. It'll be here on Monday, and I'm really looking forward to using it. I have used the Apple Pencil just briefly before, and I don't like it. Don't like the way it sits in my hand. I don't like the feel of it. But one, I figure I'll get used to it, and two, I'm going to buy a little ergonomic grip to go on it. But I really wish I could use a Wacom stylus with an iPad. But I posted a query to an iPad group today on Reddit and was told, nope, incompatible technology will not work. Don't even think about it. You are going to be using an Apple Pencil. So it goes. Anyway, I'm not an Apple person. Never had an iPhone, and yet I have chosen to migrate over to the iOS, at least for drawing purposes. What do you think of that? Apple people? Microsoft people? Android people? I don't think there are many people out there who are real serious evangelists for Android tablets as artists' tools. The only real manufacturer in the race is Samsung, and they don't really seem to be taking it seriously. As far as I can tell, anyway. If I'm wrong, let me know. I mean, heck, I'm on the internet, and I could be wrong. Wrong on the internet deserves some attention, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm off, out, gone. See you tomorrow.